Testing. All right, there we go. That's work. That's work. All right. So, thank you, Jason. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Alfredo. Yes, just like the pasta, pizza, chicken, and the sauce. Joke usually kills me. And I'm here today to talk to you about the 5 things you should know about the World Cup. And before I do so, this shirt feels a little constricting, so I hope you won't mind.
Oh my goodness.
Close your eyes, Steve. Yes, please call it. Cool. Yeah, that's a lot better. Nice. All right. So as for fact number 0, for those of you who don't know, I was born in the beautiful country of Honduras. I don't know if this is even picking me up, but I can project. That is okay. I was born in the beautiful country of Honduras. Unfortunately, we did not make the World Cup this time around. We've made it there 3 times, but I figured I would still use my Honduras jersey. All right, so that was fact number 0. Let's talk about some things you should know about the World Cup, beginning with some basics. So I'm going to give you some information up on the screen. Big takeaway is that the World Cup happens every 4 years. It goes on for about a month. There is 2 stages. There is a group stage followed by a knockout stage. And the teams that actually qualify to the tournament have to first go through regional qualifiers. Now, in case you don't know, the World Cup is the biggest sporting event in the world. And before I keep going on, let me make sure I tell you guys, I love interactive presentations. So if at any point you hear me ask you a question, feel free to shout out an answer and jump in. They are not rhetorical questions. So now, does anybody know how many viewers the World Cup final, the last World Cup final had? Any guesses? Anybody know off the top of their heads?
72 billion.
Okay, so we're in the billions, which is great. So the viewership was a whooping 1.5 billion viewers. Over an 1/8 of the world population tuned in for this single sporting event. Sorry, Super Bowl, at 127 million viewers, it doesn't even come close. Finally, you should know that the first World Cup was hosted in 1930 in Uruguay. And here's a picture of the final of that year between Uruguay and Argentina. All right, now that you know a little bit about the World Cup, we should talk about the winners. Now, this is a very interactive heavy slide, so feel free again to jump in. So, when we're talking about winners, there is a single team that has won the World Cup 5 times. Woo! Any guesses? That's right. It is Brazil, and I think we have Brasileira. Perfect, all right. Now, there are 2 teams that have won it 4 times. Any guesses here? Argentina. Here's Spain. I heard one of them, which is Italy. Italy has won it 4 times, and you'll see an asterisk next to 1934. That is because that year they hosted it and won the tournament, which is kind of a prestigious thing to do. What about the second one? I have not heard the second country.
Germany?
I heard it. It is Germany. Germany has also won it 4 times, and they hosted it and won it in '74. Now, 3 trophies. There is a single team that's done this, and they are the defending champions for this year's World Cup. And I heard it earlier. There we go. It is Argentina. Yes, Brazilians and Argentinians don't get along. What about 2 teams that have won the twice?
England.
I hear England. Any other guesses?
France.
Portugal hasn't won it yet. France is definitely one of them. They won it in '98 when they hosted it as well. And then we got one more team that I haven't heard, and that is Uruguay. Uruguay hosted it in 1930. They won it. They were the first winners, first host. They just did everything right, and haven't been back to win it in quite some years. And then finally, we got one last team that has won, or 2 teams that have won it 1 time.
England.
I heard England. That is right. They won it in 1966 when they hosted it. And one last team, which I heard earlier. That's right. We got España. They won in 2010. Funny thing to notice here is that Brazil and Spain are the only 2 teams that haven't hosted and won it the same year. And Brazil, funny enough, is the only team in the world that has been to every single World Cup. They have a perfect attendance at the World Cup. So, yes. Give it up for the Brazil. All right. Moving on, let's talk about this year's World Cup for this 2026, which is hosted here in the US, Mexico, and Canada. So first thing you should know is that this is the largest World Cup ever. It has been upgraded from the usual 32 teams to now 48. Out of those 48 teams, only 32 will make it into the knockout stage. We will have a total of 104 matches, which is kind of ridiculous. And you can see here from the group breakdown, so it's going to be the top 2 teams of every group, and the 8 best third places will move on to the knockout stage. This is the first time the World Cup will be back in the US since 1994, which is pretty exciting for me because it means I will get to watch the World Cup in the US, because prior to this I was not born. Yes, I was born in 1995, feel free to age me as you'd like. This is only the second time the World Cup has ever been hosted across multiple countries. Any guesses as to when the first time was? I would be very impressed if anybody knows this piece of trivia.
During the Second World War?
No, it didn't go that far back. So this was in 2002, South Korea and Japan shared custody of the World Cup. Now for us specifically, the World Cup is pretty exciting because our beautiful country of Philadelphia gets to host 6 of the matches at the link. And one of those matches is a round of 16 on July 4th, the nation's birthday. So pretty exciting times. Definitely a lot of chaos will be happening in the city for the next month and change. All right, now that you know about the World Cup and this particular World Cup, I'm sure you're wondering, Alfredo, where should I watch the World Cup? And I'm glad you guys asked. So I'm gonna tell you this by giving you a little graph. We're gonna label our excitement axis and we're gonna label our monetary axis. So probably the cheapest and least exciting place you can watch the World Cup would be at home, just all by your lonesome self. We can upgrade this experience by including friends. So now we're watching at home with friends. And then if you want to put a little money into it, we can go and watch the game with friends at a restaurant, a local bar, a little more expensive, but a lot of fun. Now the direction we don't want to move in is towards that bottom right corner. We don't want it to be expensive and boring. And if you go to a fancy restaurant that has little to no TVs, that's exactly where you would find yourselves. Somewhere like Del Frisco's, they might not even have TVs to show you the game, and you will be spending a lot of money. Now, if you're okay with the spending money part, and you just want to have the most excitement possible, you could just go to the link. The games are in our backyard. You will be spending quite a bit of money, but it'll be the most fun you can. Now, if we dial it back a little bit, we could go to a proper sports bar. There are plenty of these around the city, and if you need recommendations, I'm happy to give you some. But this is going to be a little bit less expensive, equally as fun. You'll be out in public, celebrating with other people. Outdoor spaces are a great spot as well. Hopefully, the places you can go to don't have a cover, so all you're paying for is whatever you're drinking and eating. But again, you're outdoors, you're in the sunlight, you're drinking, you're having fun, always a great time. Then we can also upgrade the home with friends experience to the outdoor home with friends experience. Any of your rich friends happen to have a backyard, a rooftop deck, a pool, this is the place to go watch the game. But finally, if you want the cheapest option and probably the most amount of fun you're gonna have, I highly recommend you check out the Philly Fan Fest. For those of you who don't know, the Philly Fan Fest, FIFA has decided to do a pop-up on Lemon Hill behind the Art Museum. They will be showcasing every game. They will have food and drink vendors, merchandise, whatever you can think of, and they will also have concerts happening at this location. The first day for this is next Thursday, June 11th. And in case you haven't heard, Luis Fonsi, a really popular Latin pop star, will be doing the opening concert. If you don't know who Luis Fonsi is, I'm sure you've heard his hit single, Despacito. All right, so finally, the last thing I would like to share with you, I would love to leave you all with some practical knowledge that you can apply during the course of the World Cup. So for that, I'm going to teach you guys some vocabulary that everybody should know for the World Cup. So again, very heavy interactive slides, so feel free to jump in and give me some answers. So this first picture, what is being depicted? What is the sport feature in the World Cup? Football. Come on, I don't hear you guys. Yeah. All right. If you said soccer, you are mistaken. This is not soccer, this is football. But then if you're really cool, it's football. All right, what about this one? What do the players play on? What do they play?
Pitch.
Okay, good, yes. If you said field, no, it is the pitch. What about what's happening here?
Oh.
Yes, pretty easy, right? No one calls it a point, and we all know that's a goal. We're all educated. All right, what about this one? What is this player wearing?
Cleats.
Cleats, I heard something. So if you said cleats, you're technically not mistaken, but these are not cleats, these are boots. Now take it up with the English, don't take it up with me, they came up with the sport. All right, what are these players wearing?
Kit.
I heard it, okay, good. I was hoping to catch some of it. If you called it a uniform, they are not in the military, these are called kits. All right, who do we have here? What is this?
Keeper. Goalkeeper.
I heard goalie. This is not ice hockey. So this is a keeper because the full name is goalkeeper because he is stopping a goal. Get it? Goalkeeper. Yeah. Anybody know who the guy in the picture is though?
Casillas?
Yes, that is Iker Casillas, arguably one of the best goalkeepers in the world, but he is retired. All right, what is the score to this game?
6-0.
Yes, good. I was hoping more
Brazil's
people
winning.
would jump in and answer. If you said 0, well, you are mathematically not incorrect. This is not how we talk football. This is 0. The score to this game is 6-0. And then finally, what do we call this portion of the tournament?
Knockout.
Wow, we're really quiet. I was expecting a lot more participation. So if you call this the playoffs, these are not the playoffs. This is the knockout stage. But it works the same way. It's a single elimination tournament. This is what the remaining 32 teams will go into the knockout stage. All right, and because I'm such a nice person, I'm going to give you all a cheat sheet. And I have given you some additional entries, which include the correct, the incorrect, and the very incorrect. So I think it is important, since we are one of the host nations, that we speak properly and we convey properly the language of football. And I'm going to leave you with Mark Twain's words on why we should be talking proper language when it comes to football.
Wait.
Yes.
It's not extra time, it's stoppage time.
Not necessarily. I mean, you could call it extra time, you could call it stoppage time. As long as you don't confuse it with overtime, and definitely don't call it the third and fourth half. That would be pretty good. All right, and that pretty much concludes the 5 things you should know about the World Cup. Like I said, if you need recommendations for anything happening in Philly, feel free to chat with me at some point. But yeah, that also brings us to the conclusion of the forum. So thank you so much for attending. I hope you all are as excited about the World Cup as I am. And go Brazil, go Argentina, go France, go Scotland.
Portugal.
Go Portugal. Honduras is not in it, but go Honduras. All right, thank you so much.